Well, hey, what's up everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Today I'm talking about the Saucony Peregrine 12. It's a great shoe, but is it better than the 11? Well, I think so, but let me tell you why. But first, I do need to let you know that Saucony did send the Peregrine 12 to me to review. They're not going to see this footage ahead of time. They're not going to proof it, tell me what to say. I'll share my honest thoughts, just like always. Okay, with that out of the way, let's talk about the stats of the Saucony Peregrine 12. So firstly, it is a neutral trail shoe. As you can see, there is quite a bit of twist to that. There's a couple things that contribute to that, which we'll get to when we talk about the outsole, midsole, and the stack height for the Saucony Peregrine 12 is the same as the Peregrine 11s. 26.5 in the rear, 22.5 in the front for a 4mm drop. Feels really nice on the trails. I gotta say, I really am liking that that drop and this as well. It really does feel overall like a kind of like a HOKA Torrent too. It really does. I know I said that in my first impression video, but I'm gonna stick with it. It really does feel like a similar shoe, and which is a good thing because I like that and I like this one a lot too. Before we go any further though, scroll down just a little bit, see the little thumbs up, give it a click if you wouldn't mind. It does help out the video a lot and I would really appreciate it. But probably one of the best things about the Saucony Peregrine 12 is the weight. It's a huge difference from this right here. This is the Peregrine 11. This is the wide version, but the numbers that I'll give you for weight will be from the not wide, because I did have both of those as well. If you want to take a look at the full review of the Peregrine 11, it's going to be top right corner. You can do that. So I threw it on the scale. Men's size 11 weighs in at 299 grams or 10.5 ounces, which is a really good weight for a kind of a daily training shoe that you can take pretty darn long if you want to with the shoe. So the Peregrine 11, again, not the wide, just the regular standard shoe, was 340 grams or 12 ounces. So in the Peregrine 12, we lost 1.5 ounces, which is huge. I mean, that is a crazy weight savings. Generally, you don't see that kind of improvement from one iteration to the next. So to Saucony, you killed it on the weight. That's amazing. As far as sizing goes, it does fit true to size. This is a men's size 11. Same size I order in pretty much any of my shoes, and it fit just fine. No issues there. So let's move on and talk about the upper of the Saucony Peregrine 12. Again, this is pretty much a complete redesign from the Peregrine 11. The 11, as you see here, it's very thick. It's plush. There's a lot of cushion to it. It's not very breathable, and yeah, it's part of that weight. It's a heavy shoe, and the upper is kind of heavy. On the 12, however, totally different. So it's now quite breathable on the trails. When you're running, you can feel the air. It feels good. I think in a hot environment, this will definitely feel good. This one did not over here, but this one will feel nice and really hot. I've taken it in like 70-degree-ish weather so far, and it's been really nice. But yeah, as far as overlays go, there's not a ton. I mean, you've got the Saucony logo here and a little bit right on the front of the foot as well, and on the rear for some stability, and on the toe. But the biggest thing is the comfort of this upper. It's just really there is one issue. There is definitely one big issue with the upper that I have found so far. But overall, it's very comfortable. The last of the shoe just feels nice as far as when you put it on, you get it laced up. It just fits snug, but not like too snug in areas, like not in the medial arch for me. No issues. On the Peregrine 11, this is the wide. On the standard version, I actually had to order the wide because it just felt too narrow and was pinching the medial arch of my foot on the regular. Not the case with the Peregrine 12. This one in the regular fits perfect, really, really well. The toe box is nice and accommodating, plenty of room for those toes to, they're not going to be like in an Ultra splayed out like that, but it's not tight. I don't feel any rubbing in the toes at all. Would have no issues with the toe box taking this to 50 miles. I think it's going to be plenty fine there. Also, another redesign on the upper is the lacing system. You can see they use these kind of little like loopholes now, which are nice. It really allows you to tighten that shoe down nicely. It's quite a bit different from the 11s. This was more of a standard style eyelets. Not the case on here. It does still have the gaiter attachment right here in the front, so you can put those gaiters on to help keep some debris from getting inside the shoe. But another big redesign is the tongue, and the tongue on the 12 is amazing. I've had no issues with it at all. It doesn't slip down in the shoe. It stays put. It's padded enough to where the top of the foot's not going to get sore or rubbed or irritated. It's really almost a perfect tongue. It is semi-gusseted on both sides as well, so it's not going to slide around side to side. On the 11s, that was not the case. The Peregrine 11 tongue is horrible in my opinion. Go back and watch that full review. But this tongue would just slide down in the shoe. It wouldn't stay put. It's very thick. It does not breathe. I actually had to cut the tongue to get it to put the laces through it to keep it from sliding down in the shoe. So just horrible tongue. 12, perfect. Great job, Saucony, again, making a nice improvement from the 11s to the 12. So I know in my first impression video, I talked about the heel cup having plenty of padding. I'm gonna have to disagree with myself now. I'm gonna have to go back, rewind the tapes. No, scratch that. This, it feels comfortable when you put it on. Really not a lot of issue, but I did notice when climbing. So if I'm running up a hill or just power hiking up a hill, I actually got quite a blister on the right heel. You can see in the heel cup where it kind of rubbed. You can see there's a definite spot where it's kind of torn the fabric already. And these only have 44 or 45 miles on them right now. And it's already caused a blister in the heel cup. So I did run today in this shoe for about 9 miles. I did pre-tape my heel this time with some Leuco tape. No issues at all. So I think as long as you pre-tape your feet and the heels, especially if you're going to go long, like, you know, if you're going to do a race in them, I would certainly do it. But just know that you might need to tape a little bit and protect your heel. Because even when this happened to my foot, I did have some lubricant on the back of my heel. I always kind of rub that with some Gold Bond Friction Defense before I put my socks on. Still caused an issue. So just know there is a little bit of an issue in the heel cup. But overall, even considering that issue there, I'm still really happy with the upper of the Saucony Peregrine 12. It's not perfect. If they fix that issue, you know, a couple things, it could be perfect, really nice upper, but it's still a really good upper. Comfortable and does a great job keeping your foot secure. So let's move on to the midsole now of the Peregrine 12. It's a great midsole. It's been very comfortable. There is one nice improvement between the 11 and the 12, which we'll get to in a minute. It is a power run midsole, which is kind of their basic midsole. It does a really good job though on the trail, especially when it's combined with the rock plate in the front. It just works well. It protects your foot, gives you the zip that you need when you want to go fast. I have used this shoe now, I think 3 times for tempo hill intervals or a tempo steady effort up a hill. Like last weekend, I went to Frozen Head and did about a 3.5 mile continuous uphill push in the shoe. And it was great. No issues there. It kind of had the spring that I wanted. It was great. Coming down the hill again on a gravel service road with a lot of rock, the midsole was cushioned enough to protect my feet, especially with that rock plate. It felt really good. So I could see this midsole. You know, I know there's people that have run in 100Ks in these shoes. I've seen it on some YouTube videos already. And I would have no issues taking this to 100K. I think it would be a fine shoe. Now, if you're used to a lot of cushioning and protection, you might want a little bit more cushion. But for me, personally, I think it'd be great. So the difference in the midsole of the Saucony Peregrine 12 versus the Peregrine 11 is actually the sock liner or the insole. So on the insole, it was just a standard, you know, power run. That's it. On the Peregrine 12, however, the insole is actually a Power Run Plus. So it has a little bit more bounce to it, a little bit more pep. And I don't know if that's what I felt when I was on the trail, but it did feel really good. So whatever it is, it's working. Good job, Saucony. So I guess now's a good time to go ahead and talk about that redesigned rock plate. It is kind of in the midsole and also the outsole, but we'll talk about it now in the midsole. So it is redesigned, and Saucony says that it's more flexible now. I believe it's a tiny bit thinner, but it is more flexible, which really helps with some of that twist. On the Peregrine 11, however, it does twist, but as you can see, it's kind of taking me a little bit more force to make it do that. And we'll kind of look at the two a little bit more in depth here in just a second. But overall, the midsole of the Peregrine 12 is great. I really have been happy with it. If you're curious, again, I would compare it to the HOKA Torrent 2. It kind of has that same feel to it. This might feel a little more bounce in its step though. So let's talk about the outsole of the Peregrine 12 now. It is redesigned from the Peregrine 11. We'll kind of compare the two here in just a second. Overall, the Peregrine 12s has been great. There's been good grip. I will say though, honestly, I think the 11s might have had a little bit better grip. I'm not sure the redesigned outsole worked as well as Saucony wanted, at least in my experience, especially on muddy terrain. In the mud, this caked up quite a bit. It just held the mud, it stuck to it. And there's times where you know, your feet would kind of slide out from under you a little bit in the mud. It's still a 5mm lug depth, pretty aggressive like this, but it's just a little bit redesigned to it. Let's go ahead and take a look. So I'm going to put the two up here side by side. Hopefully the camera will focus on that and you can see, but you can see the lugs are actually a little bit different, the design, the shape of them. And you can also see the rock plate is different as far as the exposed parts of it that you can see. I do feel pretty comfortable in saying that this probably didn't have as good a grip as the 11s, but the grip has been amazing. I've taken this thing now in muddy trails and the snow and the sleet, and just kind of splashed around a little bit, and they were fantastic. I mentioned the rock plate and how you can see it. You can actually see a lot of that rock plate exposed now inside this this outsole here. Definitely see more of it on the 12 than you can on the 11s, and it does a good job. The midsole combined with the outsole, the rock plate, it's good. It's really comfortable. It works well. Another nice thing about these is they feel stable. When running with them over technical terrain or rocks, it feels sure-footed. It feels secure, which is great. It's something you want in a shoe, especially when you're running fast. And with the Saucony Peregrine 12s, you can run fast in a shoe. It's a fairly lightweight shoe. It's agile. So overall, I've been very happy with the Saucony Peregrine 12s. I'm going to continue to run in them quite a bit. So I will update you if something pops up over the course of the next 100, 200 miles that you guys need to know. I'll be sure to let you know if that happens. And as far as the price goes of the Saucony Peregrine 12, it's $130. Which is pretty good. That's right in line with the HOKA Torrent 2, like I've mentioned before. Very similar in price. And I think it's worth it. I think it's a good shoe. I think this is the durability of the Peregrine 12. The upper is newer than the 11, so I don't know as far as the durability goes. I think it's gonna do okay and last for several hundred miles. Same for that midsole foam. It's the Power Run. I think it's gonna withstand the beating of 300, 400 miles pretty easily. The outsole as well. These here, I've got like 100 and something miles on them, I think. They're practically looking brand new. As far as the compound of the outsole, it is the same. So yeah, I think these are gonna last quite a while. I don't see the shoe breaking down and being destroyed after 150 miles. I think this is gonna last pretty easily until 350 miles at a minimum. And then up. So yeah, I think this will be a shoe that'll last for quite a while. All right, well, that's gonna do it for the Saucony Peregrine 12. Hope you found this helpful. If you have, don't forget to give the video a thumbs up. It really does help out a lot. Lets YouTube know you like it, and they might recommend it to other people, which helps the channel. And if you want to take a look at the first impression run from the Peregrine 12, it's gonna be on your screen right over here. And then I'll put a playlist up of some other shoe reviews to check out, so you can see other trail shoes in there as well, like the Peregrine 11s, the Saucony Exodus, a lot of other shoes in there too. But thank you for watching. I do appreciate you all, and I'll see you on the next one.